Hey guys, so welcome back to another conversation with me. A very important conversation, as I might add, because not only will I be teaching you, I will also be teaching myself. Okay, this is a thing that due to my aggression and my pride, sometimes I find it difficult to resolve conflict effectively. Awesome. So let's get straight into it. First of all, I'm going to just roughly read over the notes I have over here, and then we're going to discuss it. So, conflict resolution. Conflict resolution is a way for two or more people, please don't think about parties, to find a peaceful solution to a disagreement among them. Keeping in mind, peaceful. That's what we mean by conflict resolution. If it's not done peacefully, it has not been resolved. Let's carry on. My marker is just doing things. So let's break it down again. Conflict resolution is a way for two or more parties to find a peaceful solution to a disagreement among them. So when two or more people get into a situation where they have a disagreement, which is very likely because we are all different. We have different perspectives and different narratives to what we think should or should not happen, or should be a certain way or shouldn't be a certain way. So we are bound to get into disagreements. Conflict resolution is when you can handle those peacefully. When a dispute arises, often the best course of action is negotiation to resolve the disagreement. Now, negotiation is basically when you are coming to terms with the fact that, okay, we are not going to force each other to see each other's perspectives, but what we can do is respect each other's perspectives. That's a form of negotiation. It's when you do something to get a good outcome or to reap a benefit out of. Conflict resolution is very important. Why is it very important? Why teach it? Because often at times, as much as our emotions are things we experience, our circumstances, environment, and situations is what causes us to react a certain type of way to certain types of emotions. When we are being taught certain things like conflict resolutions or even emotions, that now takes us away from the idea that an environmental situation can change us or make us a certain way. Because as much as that environment may have an influence, we have an alternative where we have been taught different. So we have a different perspective. We are able to see it from a different perspective. And this is why ultimately I think that these type of conversations have been put, or lessons have been put into the syllabus, because yes, our environments ultimately bring out the product, which is us, but if we are taught how to deal with certain things the right way, then our environment, situation, and circumstances may not have such a great influence. Conflict resolution is important, and we're going to go over the steps and the types of conflict resolutions in the next few videos. But why it's important is because, I'm one of those people, I don't like conflict at all. It's ironic, however, because I find myself in situations that conflict resolution is necessary, even though I try to run away from it entirely. So much so that if we are in a disagreement, I can avoid the whole process of finding a peaceful solution, and I just walk away from the situation. It may be some form of peace, but it has not been resolved. Therefore, it's just conflict. In that situation, in that state that I would be in, it's no longer conflict resolution, it's just conflict, because there was no agreement between the two parties or more to come to a peaceful solution, to solve the disagreement between them. I just walked away from the situation. And for such a long time, I thought that was ideal. But sometimes walking from a conflicted situation means walking away from the person. Because ultimately, if you guys, you and a friend, or you and a sibling, or you and a family member are in a quarrel, you guys are disagreeing, and you decide, I'm not gonna stay here, I'm not gonna resolve anything, I'm angry, I'm just gonna walk away from the conversation. A lot of the times, you walking away from the conversation is you walking away from the person as a whole, because if the disagreement has not been resolved, then this disagreement is still standing, festering, which means building up inside of you, each of you, because now that person could be angry that you decided not to deal with it and just walk away. Therefore, there's no friendship or relationship after that. Whereas resolving conflict in the right way can help you salvage and save a lot of relationships that you may regret not solving and not fixing. I personally have no regrets. I have questions. There's been instances where I found it better to walk away. I am hot-headed. So conflict resolution is not something that I am strong at. And you see what I'm doing? This is called self-introspection. This is when you are aware of who you are. Whether you choose to work on it or not is your personal decision. I am working on it, but I am also aware that I don't like conflict, number one. And number two, I walk away. And most of the time, what can also stir up a lot of conflict is built up emotion. So I am the type that I don't communicate things when they bother me. And then you will do the same thing. For example, if somebody steps on your shoe the first day, conflict resolution would be like, please don't step on my shoe again. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't see you there. No problem, just don't let it happen again. Okay, cool, bye. That is a perfect example of conflict resolution. What is not a good example, and which is something that I would probably do, is the first day you step on my shoe, I'll say nothing. The second day you step on my shoe, I say nothing. The third day you step on my shoe, I say nothing. The fourth day you step on my shoe, I will blow my casket. And you will be so confused as to why I am so aggressive and so angry, not realizing that you've been stepping on my shoe for the past week and I haven't said anything. But it's a buildup of anger, it's a buildup of emotions, and I'm constantly replaying the situation in my mind. Instead of just addressing it at first head on, conflict resolution, where it could have been avoided, that person wouldn't have stepped on my shoes for the next week. We were gonna be perfectly fine. But because I let it fester and build up, even though I was aware it was a problem for me, I did not address it. So a huge thing about conflict resolution could not just be solving things peacefully, but being aware that if there's something that bothers you within that moment, addressing it preferably in that moment. Maybe not when you're heated up and angry if it's a serious situation, but within that time frame that it's happened, not waiting for it to happen again for you to lose it, is very much ideal. Okay? And with that being said, thank you for joining me on this little talk about conflict resolution, where I did some self-introspection, and hoping that that self-introspection also gave you some self-introspection as well. In the next few videos, I will be dealing and the 7 steps of conflict resolution, as well as the 5 different stages of conflict. See you guys again next time. Bye.